Welcome. My name is Ricardo Coke. Um, so hang on just a minute. Sorry. So yeah. The title of this. Basically. What to know before your driving test, whether you're driving any kind of vehicle, or um, or if it's your first time you driving a vehicle. Um, I think the I think the I think the first thing's going to happen is that once you get used to driving, or whether it's your first time, or whether you do it one day, um, you are going to get a bit nervous. But when you like book the test and everything, you're gonna get excruciatingly more nervous. I don't even think that's the right word, but you're gonna get extremely nervous and more nervous when you book the test. And even when you haven't booked the test, you're still gonna be nervous because you know in the end you're gonna have to book a test. So you're all nervous. You're almost like a wet fish. You're just completely nervous and like shriveling with nerves. I mean, that's what I've experienced. So I'm just telling you from my experience. So you guys and ladies might disagree with what I'm saying completely, and that's really up to you. So you can vote me down or vote me up with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's up to you, but I'm just giving you my opinion because when I was doing my test, um, because I passed my driving test, my car driving test on the 17th of November 2014, and I, with a bit of prayer and a prophet prophesying to me twice, I eventually managed to um pass my test. Um, but like I said, you are gonna get nervous, and to handle that nerves, is just you just grin and bear it. Um, the worst thing is to do if you know you want to drive. If you know without any doubt at all that you want to drive. Um, and and um if you know you want to drive, and if you know and you have no doubt you want to drive, um basically, um it will be bad advice for you to give up driving completely, because that will be the worst thing you could possibly do. If that's what if you but if you wanna sorry Giving up driving would be a bad thing to do, because you'll always have it on the back of your head, just gnawing at you all the time, saying that you need to drive. Inwardly, you'll be thinking, I need to drive, I need to drive. Um, but because I've done that, I've done my lesson, done my lessons over the years. I've been learning to drive since about I would say about 2010, a bit before 2010, 2010, and I just passed in 2014. So I did leave a gap over, I would say, about a year, maybe about a year. And what really sort of like brought me back to driving, learning to drive, was basically just, I mean, it was basically this company called Lit Motors, that they do this two-wheeler bike, but it's basically it's got doors basically. And that's what really motivated me to start driving again in a car. But really, it was down to God as well. Just asking the Lord's advice about whether I should drive or not. So and then God just directed me, and said I should drive, and saying that God was just saying to me that He wanted me to drive. The Lord the Lord was saying to me that I should drive. That's if I wanted to, and if God wanted me to, if that makes sense. So don't give up on the driving lessons. But persevere with the test. I mean, when you're paying for your lessons, that's when it gets a bit more harder. When you're personally paying out of your hard-earned cash, it gets even more sort of like intimidating, if you like, because you have to pull it out of your own pocket. And when you got dodgy people trying to rip you off, not all driving instructors are dodgy or fraudsters. Some of them are genuine. But if you pay for your lessons with a card, with any card, and if they do the dirty on you, you can try and claim it back. But if you personally try to claim it back fraudulently, the bank will catch up. The bank will catch up with you, and try and they'll probably even bring you to court if you make a false allegation about it. So you have to be careful about that. It has to be genuine fraud, not falsely admitting that someone did fraud on you or did a bad service when they did in fact do a good service. So yeah, you're gonna get nervous. Some people get nervous. Some people might not get nervous. Some people are just too confident in driving, and they end up losing their license when they pass their test. So you know, basically, don't the instruction, sorry, not the instruction, the tip I can give you about finding the perfect driving instructor, all drive for in my opinion, all driving instructors are good. It depends on the person that you're learning with. It doesn't really matter about what religion or faith they're in or on. It's down to that driving instructor at the end of the day. If you know if they shout, you know that they'll shout. If you know, yeah, so you know. I strongly recommend don't go to a driving instructor that actually shouts at you, because you just lose your confidence, and you just won't want to do it. You won't want to do the lessons anymore. You want to give up driving test and the lesson. You know, I've heard of people being sworn at with when they're doing when the students learning lessons with the driving instructor end up swearing at a student. That's what I've heard. Swearing at a female student. Yeah, so it's I've experienced being shouted at. I've experienced being shouted at. At least, because I've had 6 instructors throughout those 4 years, on and off. 6 instructors, and how many have shouted? I would say only 2 really out of the 6. But I eventually just gave up with them and just didn't bother doing any lessons with them. When they started shouting. Yeah. So yeah. There are tips on how to book your driving test early, in advance. You just have to keep looking at the website and watching it regularly, and yeah, refresh the page. So yeah, that's all I have to say for now, for today, in this video. I hope this helps you and encourages you And yeah, so God bless, take care, take care, and bye for now. Peace be with you.